And I want to thank the Turning Point USA board and my husband's chief of staff, the amazing Mikey McCoy.
Mikey McCoy, once known as Charlie Kirk's brother in spirit. But now everyone's asking the same question. What kind of brother just walks away like that? In the viral clip spreading across every platform, you can see Mikey calmly walking out, phone pressed to his ear, just seconds before the shocking moment that froze everyone in place. The timing feels too exact, too sharp, almost as if he already knew what was about to happen. As the chaos breaks out, Mikey doesn't flinch. He doesn't rush over. He doesn't even turn to check on Charlie. Viewers are watching it frame by frame, pointing out how disconnected he looks, like his mind was somewhere else entirely.
On video, TPUSA Chief of Staff Mikey McCoy stands near Charlie. A shot rings out. Mikey lifts the phone to his ear, turns, and walks away, before Kirk falls. No visible dial motion, no rush to aid. Why?
And here's where things get even stranger. This is the same man Erika Kirk once stood on stage praising, calling him loyal, trustworthy, and compassionate. But now, fans are left confused, wondering how those words match the man in that video. Because if that's loyalty, people are asking what betrayal looks like. Then Candace Owens threw gasoline on the fire. She revealed that Mikey refused to say who he was talking to on the phone during that exact moment. If there's nothing to hide, why stay silent? Now the internet's in overdrive. People are digging through supposed call logs, matching timestamps, even enhancing background audio, all trying to figure out who was on the other end of that line. Was Mikey taking instructions? Was he warning someone? Or is this one huge coincidence getting twisted into something darker? No one really knows. But what's clear is that few people believe Mikey's innocent bystander act anymore. Online detectives are connecting dots faster than ever. And that calm, quiet exit might just be the biggest red flag of all. And Candace isn't letting go. She's shining a harsh spotlight on Mikey McCoy, breaking down every move he made before and after that chilling moment. She says he looked too calm, too detached, and way too ready for what happened next. But while everyone's dissecting Mikey's every step, Candace dropped yet another bombshell, suggesting that Erika Kirk's actions don't add up either. Right after the chaos, her behavior looked strange, almost rehearsed. Both she and Pastor Rob McCoy, Mikey's own father, claimed that Mikey called them immediately after Charlie was hurt. Sounds simple enough, except it's not.
We're going to be doing about 5 more episodes a week now, so just tell the team and make sure that happens.
3 hours of this, 2 more hours of...
It's like, lady, wasn't your husband just publicly executed only a couple of weeks?
Because when you compare their versions, the timeline starts to fall apart. Erika says the call happened right after that sudden noise shook the room. But Pastor Rob insists it came before the emergency crews even arrived. So who's telling the truth? Social media is exploding with theories. Are they both just confused, or is someone intentionally twisting the story? Some even believe they're protecting something far bigger than anyone realizes. The puzzle pieces don't fit. The timeline keeps shifting, and that one phone call has now become the biggest clue in this entire mystery. Whoever was on the other end might hold the key to unlocking everything. That's exactly what this feels. Like a betrayal from the people Charlie trusted most. It's starting to seem like everyone close to him knew more than they're letting on, even the ones he called family. Fans are calling it the ultimate act of disloyalty. With every new clip that surfaces, it's getting harder to look away. Let's break it down, because Charlie's supporters are fired up. They want real answers about Mikey McCoy, his own chief of staff and supposed right-hand man. People are analyzing footage and asking, how did Mikey stay so calm if he was truly caught off guard? His reaction doesn't look like shock or concern. It looks like control. In the newest viral video, you can clearly see Mikey walking out, phone still in hand, while chaos erupts behind him. No hesitation, no fear, no glance back, just that same slow, steady stride, like nothing happened. The timing of his movements matches perfectly with that loud burst that made everyone else jump. The internet's convinced this wasn't random. Something about that calmness looks practiced, even rehearsed. Mikey was already on the phone, And now everyone's asking the same question. Who was he talking to? And why wasn't he trying to help Charlie in that moment that changed everything? This isn't just about one piece of footage anymore. It's about loyalty, trust, and what people do when no one's watching. Online sleuths are analyzing every second, because Mikey McCoy's calmness feels too unnatural to ignore. Until real answers come out, that cloud of suspicion isn't going anywhere.
Mikey was behind the tent when Charlie got shot, and Mikey, in less than a second, does something that I find to be quite strange. He puts his phone to his ear, and he begins a conversation.
Seconds after that sharp noise shook the room, Mikey didn't panic. He didn't look back. He didn't even pause. He just kept walking, calm, collected, like a man who already knew how the next few moments would unfold. The clip feels surreal, almost scripted, and fans can't shake the feeling that his lack of surprise wasn't accidental. It was preparation. And remember, Mikey wasn't just a background staffer. He was Charlie's chief of staff, his right-hand man, his close friend. Erika Kirk once called him amazing, but that word feels bitter now. Because how do you watch someone you've worked with, traveled with, and trusted completely fall into chaos right in front of you and not even blink? It doesn't make sense. That's not how someone reacts when they've just witnessed something that shocking. Slow that clip down frame by frame, and it gets even more unsettling. Mikey already has his phone in hand, already dialing, already walking away, before Charlie even begins to lose balance. It looks like he knew something before anyone else did. The internet isn't staying quiet. Suspicious is plastered across every comment section. Reporters are breaking down every second of that footage, and people are demanding answers. Why didn't he react like someone in shock? Who was he calling? What could possibly have been more urgent than checking on his friend and boss? Each second of that video raises more questions than it answers. Then there's the moment Charlie's being carefully led to a waiting SUV. Mikey's right there in the background, back turned, still on the phone, no glance back, no step forward, no emotion, just standing there talking, like the chaos behind him didn't exist. It's like he was in another world, talking to someone who already knew exactly what was happening. Online investigators have gone full detective mode, pausing, zooming, looping that clip endlessly. Everyone wants to know. What was that call about? Mikey couldn't have known how bad things were, yet he didn't stay, didn't check, didn't even ask. So what was so important that he stayed on the phone while everything was falling apart behind him? And that's when things start sounding even more suspicious, because the next person to speak up was none other than Pastor Rob McCoy. Mikey's father, Pastor Rob, claimed his son had marks all over him from being near the chaos, and that Mikey called him the very moment it started. But if Mikey's back was turned, calm, spotless, and walking away, how does that story make sense? The details don't match. Now people are suggesting that the covered-in-blood story might have been exaggerated to make Mikey look like a hero instead of the detached bystander everyone saw on camera.
And I'm watching. The minute Charlie was shot, he called me, says, "Dad, Charlie's been shot in the neck. Please call every pastor and pray." I said, "Okay, son." He has wits about him. He was just directing. He had blood all over him.
It's unbelievable. One version of the story paints a scene of total panic, while the real footage shows calm faces and no physical contact at all. So which version should anyone believe? Right now, the truth feels buried under layers of carefully shaped half-stories, and the fans aren't staying quiet about it. Initial reports claimed that Charlie was struck near the neck. But here's the twist. Multiple eyewitnesses who were right there say that's not true. People close enough to see every detail insist that Mikey didn't have a single drop of blood on him. None at all. And honestly, that makes sense. How could he? When he walked away before Charlie even stumbled and never returned to help. The footage doesn't lie. It clearly supports that version. So now people online want answers. Why add such a dramatic detail when it's clearly not what the video shows? Why would Pastor Rob McCoy, a respected figure, doubled down on something that's so easy to disprove. It's starting to feel like this story was built with intention, maybe even strategy. Was it meant to pull sympathy away from suspicion? To make Mikey seem like a shocked bystander instead of someone worth questioning? That's exactly how it's starting to look. But just when you think things can't get more confusing, they do. Charlie's widow, Erika Kirk, stepped forward with her own version of events, and it only made things worse. She said it was her who got the call from Mikey right after everything happened. Now, there are two stories, one from Pastor Rob and one from Erika Kirk, and neither of them match the footage or each other. Then, on September 21st, the New York Times released an interview with Erika that made things even more chaotic. Her words didn't clear anything up. They made it murkier. In that interview, Erika said she was sitting in her mother's hospital room in Phoenix at exactly 11:23 a.m. when her phone lit up with a familiar name, Mikey McCoy, her husband's longtime assistant. She said that the moment she saw his name, she instantly knew something was wrong, even before he spoke. Seconds later, she claimed she heard Mikey's panicked voice yelling words she says still haunt her. But here's where everything falls apart. Both Pastor Rob and Erika say Mikey called them right after it happened, within seconds of each other. That's impossible. The timeline doesn't match, and the footage doesn't support either version. Now, the biggest question burning across every comment section is simple. Who really got that call first?
And that's when the great Mikey McCoy showed up. Actually, he was there just before that happened.
That theory might only make sense if it was some kind of group call, but neither Erika nor Pastor Rob has ever said anything about that. So how could both of them have received the same urgent message at exactly the same time? And it gets even stranger. Their stories don't line up at all. Erika says Mikey shouted, "He's been hit!" while Rob insists Mikey told him Charlie was struck near the throat. Two completely different lines, two totally different tones. Yet somehow it's supposed to come from the same call? It doesn't add up. Then there's the detail people keep replaying over and over. In the footage, Mikey lifts his phone straight to his ear, without dialing a single number. No tapping, no scrolling, no thumb movement, nothing. Just phone to ear. And that small moment might be the biggest clue of all, because if Mikey wasn't the one making the call, maybe someone was calling him. And if that's true, the entire story about that phone call needs a fresh look. That's when Turning Point USA, TPUSA, finally responded. And they didn't hold back. Their spokesperson, Andrew C. Vi, came out defending Mikey McCoy, saying people are twisting what happened. C. Vi insists Mikey wasn't calm or suspicious, just shocked. According to him, Mikey only covered his ears because the loud sound left him disoriented and shell-shocked. He says Mikey's reaction was just instinctive, but the internet isn't buying it. People have seen that clip too many times to believe it was pure shock. CVI pushed the defense further, saying Mikey was simply following Charlie's personal protocol to call Erika first, then Pastor Rob if anything serious ever happened. In other words, Mikey was just doing his job, trying to inform, not hide. But here's the issue. That explanation falls apart once you match it with everything else. If Mikey was only following instructions, why did Pastor Rob publicly claim his son was covered in blood? That dramatic claim doesn't appear anywhere in the footage, or in CVI's "he was just doing his job" story. Now everyone's asking the same thing. Who's really telling the truth? One witness added, "This was a disgusting attack. I was there when it happened, right beside Mikey. I can't describe every detail, but here's what I can say. When the shot went off, we both turned and saw Charlie had been hit. In that moment, we realized there could be a shooter nearby, maybe more than one. We didn't know if it was close or far, so our instinct was to move. Charlie had a security team. They jumped into action right away. What I'll never forget is how shaken Mikey looked. His lip was trembling. I'd never seen him like that. Then he said, 'I need to call Erika.' He picked up his phone, made that call, put it down, then called his dad, Pastor Rob. He said, 'Dad, someone shot Charlie. Call everyone to pray right now.' So was Pastor Rob just emotional and exaggerating what he thought he heard? Or is there something deeper? something carefully hidden behind all these contradictions. Here's the biggest problem that nobody's addressing. Mikey couldn't have known anything in those first few seconds. He never turned around, never checked Charlie's condition, never looked back once. So how could he possibly know what had happened, unless he already knew something before it even started? That theory has taken over the internet. People are convinced there's more to this story. Now timelines, audio clips, and screenshots are being pieced together like an online crime board. And just when things seemed to settle, Erika Kirk's first public speech after losing her husband added a shocking twist. Instead of focusing fully on her grief, she smiled and thanked Mikey McCoy. Viewers were stunned. Why mention another man so fondly during a tribute to her late husband? That smile quickly became viral, zoomed in, dissected, and shared everywhere. Some saw it as misplaced gratitude. Others called it a red flag. Then Turning Point USA host Frank Turk fueled the fire even more during an interview, calling Mikey the great Mikey McCoy. That single line exploded online. People are now asking, why is Mikey suddenly being praised as a hero when the facts, footage, and statements don't match? Something about this feels staged, and everyone's starting to sense it. I want to thank the first responders who worked heroically. And I want to thank the Turning Point USA board, the COO Justin Strife, and my husband's chief of staff, the amazing Mikey McCoy. Wait, what? The internet's obsessed. The story has gone completely viral, with one explosive theory now leading the charge. That Charlie Kirk may have been betrayed by people within his own circle. The growing belief is that loyalty turned into ambition, and that those closest to him were already positioning themselves for control long before that tragic day. And when it comes to Erika, well, her actions are raising more questions than answers. Online investigators are pointing out how easily Erika seemed to step into a leadership role right after the tragedy, almost like she'd been preparing for that moment all along. The timing felt too precise to be random, and every part of it appeared to fall into place a little too perfectly. Now, one viral post on X, formerly Twitter, is blowing up, being reposted, analyzed, and debated nonstop. People are calling it the missing link that ties the entire mystery together. From Mikey's strange calmness during the chaos to the oddly timed praise Erika and others gave him afterward. And here's the real shocker. That viral thread drops a major bombshell. It claims that Turning Point USA allegedly turned into a secret money funnel and insider trading operation behind the scenes. According to the Post, this wasn't just a shift in leadership. It was a carefully planned power move. If even a small part of that claim is true, then this story isn't just internal drama. It could blow up into one of the biggest scandals the movement has ever faced. Sources suggest that Charlie had begun putting the pieces together himself. He'd started to realize something dark was happening behind closed doors, and he was reportedly preparing to bring it all to light. He was said to be ready to go public with evidence showing just how deep the connections between the organization, its donors, and certain political players really went. But here's the twist that's making people stop and think. That same viral post claims that many of the top donors and senior staff members already knew what was going on. If that's true, then Charlie's sudden decision to speak out wasn't just inconvenient. It was dangerous. His growing independence, refusal to play along, and cryptic public remarks could have made him a serious threat to anyone trying to protect that system. It's said that his shift in loyalty rattled the entire foundation of the operation, and not everyone close to him took it well. Now people online are asking the questions no one at Turning Point seems eager to answer. Did Mikey McCoy and Erika Kirk know more than they're letting on? Were they really innocent bystanders caught in a tragic situation? Or were they already involved in something deeper, something that required shaping the narrative once everything went wrong? Because if Charlie truly was preparing to expose what was happening, then those calm, collected faces around him might not just be mourning. They might be guarding secrets that were never meant to surface. At this point, everything is still speculation, but the more people investigate, the harder it becomes to ignore how every major name in this story seems to fit somewhere in the puzzle. Maybe they each knew exactly when to step aside, keeping their hands clean while the chaos unfolded in front of everyone else. It's starting to feel less like coincidence and more like choreography. Every move, every silence perfectly timed. So what do you think about this theory? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Hit that like button, share this video with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe, because this story is far from over.